Hey, good morning, everyone. We continue to track the winter storm. It's already bringing some snow to parts of the Midlands at this hour. We'll take a look at that radar here in just a few moments, but I am here to answer any questions that anyone may have at this time. Before we get to any questions, you can just pop those in at any time, but we'll just go ahead and look at that radar. We have already seen a little bit of light snow across portions of the Midlands, including Newberry. Also out at Lake Murray, you've probably seen a little bit of some flurries flying. So definitely something really cool to see. And we've got more on the way. We can go in a little bit closer for you and show you some of these areas that are picking up that snow right around Newberry. It looks like maybe it might be lightening up just a bit from within the past hour. They were seeing some flakes flying, so very cool to see. And these are nice powdery flakes. It should be a nice powdery snow. May not be the best for making snowballs, but in those areas, provided we do see those several inches that we are forecasting, it will be good for the kids to get out and do a little bit of sledding. Now, we've got some cold weather that's going to be coming in behind that system, so we'll need to make sure the kids are layered up because, you don't want to risk frostbite as they're out there trying to enjoy this rare treat of snowfall across the Midlands. We do have a winter storm warning that continues through 10 a.m. tomorrow because of accumulating snowfall expected across the area. And, we've got temperatures already below freezing across much of the Midlands, if not all of the Midlands. Barnwell, though, at 34 degrees to our south, but 31 degrees currently in Columbia, below freezing. Lexington, we're at 31. Already seen reporting some light snow in that area. Sumter, 32 degrees. They saw some flurries late last night. Camden, looking at 30 degrees. Winsboro at 30 degrees as well. So we've got the cold air, and we're just waiting for that moisture to continue to pivot around the area of low pressure over more of the Midlands, and that is what we're forecasting as we go into the rest of this morning. So we are going to see these snow showers picking up in intensity and also coverage as we go throughout the rest of this morning. So I think by the afternoon, we'll be talking about some accumulating snowfall on surfaces. And fortunately, that does include roads. So roads are likely going to be getting slick through the rest of this morning. And certainly by the afternoon, we're looking at some slick roads and also extending into tonight and even tomorrow morning, because we're going to stay below freezing throughout the entire day into tomorrow morning. So you just want to be careful out there. Now, in terms of today's temperatures, we are going to see temperatures falling just a bit from where we are right now. So we'll see temperatures generally in the 20s. They'll be fairly steady, I think, once we get, late morning into the afternoon. So those temperatures in the 20s will actually feel more like temperatures in the teens. And so the reason being is that we've got some gusty winds. So we've got, not just the snow. Of course, that's the big story for today's forecast. But we've got some gusty winds. Those winds could gust anywhere from 25 to possibly close to 30 miles per hour. And so for today, that is going to make temperatures that will be kind of hovering in the 20s. It'll actually make it feel more like teens. Now, something else those strong winds will do will cause some blowing snow, and that's going to reduce visibility. So just another reason just to stay off those roads for today if you can, if you don't need to be anywhere. But again, of course, the wind chills, down into the teens for today, and it gets even colder looking ahead to tomorrow's forecast. I'll have more on that in just a few moments. But, here's that area of low pressure sitting offshore. Now we have an upper level low right over top of us. So we've got cold air from top to bottom. So that's why we are seeing snow, the dominant precipitation type, I should say, of this event. Completely different setup from last weekend when we had ice across parts of the area. So we are looking at snow with this event. We could see several inches of that snow. So this area of low pressure expected to pull away, but not until later tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, the snow showers should start to wrap up in our eastern Midland counties as we get to right around midnight. And certainly by tomorrow morning, it should be out of here. So we could be looking at several inches of snowfall in parts of the Midlands on the ground at that time. We got a question for Lizzie Sanders. Good morning. When will the snow hit South Congaree area? Well, we're already starting to see that snow up around Lake Chapin, or Lake Murray, in Chapin, and we are going to continue to see that moisture pivoting in on the backside of that low pressure. So I would think it will make its way into South Congaree later this morning, possibly as early as 8, 9 o'clock. So something just to keep in mind. But once it arrives, it's going to be around throughout much of this Saturday, and so that's why we are anticipating several inches of that snowfall. So Lizzie, if you're not seeing the snow just yet, just hang in there. I think within the next 2 to 3 hours, you'll definitely be seeing the snow in your area. So again, this is a look at the timeline. We are going to see that snow picking up across more of the Midlands as we go into later this morning before lunchtime. I think right around lunchtime, I think just about all of the Midlands, except for maybe our extreme easternmost communities, may be seeing the snow. But even with that said, I think just about everyone will see, will or be seeing, or at least have seen some light snow. But it is going to be around the area throughout much of the day. In fact, here's a look at future radar, and you can see this is timed out at 8 o'clock, so another hour to go. And you can see it's pretty much over the western Midland counties and north of I-20, and even some of our eastern Midland counties. Some of that moisture may pivot down south enough to reach portions of Clarendon and Sumter counties. But again, we are going to continue to see this chance for snow increasing from west to east in general across the Midlands. And here's lunchtime. You can see South Congaree, you'll have that snow already in place. In fact, all the way down towards Orangeburg County, Sumter County, just about everyone will see that chance for snow by around lunchtime, if not shortly thereafter. So this is looking at 2 p.m., and we are seeing the snow overspreading the area. We've got another question. Linda Ford, how long will the snow stay on the ground? That's a good question because, we're looking at several inches of snowfall. And today, all day into most of tomorrow, our temperatures are going to stay below freezing. So it will be there through tomorrow morning. And I think even through your Monday, because Monday's temperatures will only make it into the mid-30s for highs, and that's just a few degrees above freezing. We will have sunshine, and that will help to melt some of the snow in direct sunlight, but especially in these areas where we're talking where you could get, 4 to 6 inches of snowfall, possibly even more than that as you work your way across our northern Midland counties. It's going to take some time to melt, so I think that snow will still be on the ground even through Monday. And then Tuesday, or Monday I should say, we have temperatures expected to reach the low 40s, so we'll be higher than Sunday afternoon. So we will see more of that melt, I think, for Tuesday. So we'll see quite a bit of it melting for Tuesday, depending on how much snowfall some areas get. I don't know if it'll get rid of all of it, but I think it'll get rid of a lot of it on Monday afternoon. But we'll still have that potential, I think, for refreezing for Monday morning, and also certainly for Tuesday morning, because that's going to be a lot of moisture on those roads, on sidewalks, on in parking lots, and with temperatures down into the teens for Sunday morning into Monday morning, still below freezing, looking ahead to Tuesday morning. That's going to lead to some patchy black ice across much of the area, I think. So just be prepared for that. Monday mornings and Tuesday mornings, that potential for some icy spots on those roads. But I think a lot of it will melt on Monday afternoon. I don't know if all of it will melt, provided how much snowfall people get, but I think a lot of it will melt. I don't think a lot of it will melt Sunday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. And I hope that answers your question. So, taking, again, another look at future radar, you can see that, it's going to be overspreading the area through the afternoon into tonight. Monique Francis wants to know, will the roads be good on Sunday morning? I think it could still, I'm sure that South Carolina Department of Transportation would be out treating the roads, especially secondary roads, I think could still be icy at that time. I would just be prepared for the potential for some icy roads early Sunday morning, just because it is going to be just so cold. And, you could have some of that blowing snow, move out, be blown out onto the road. It could be a little bit of melt there, and then that would refreeze. But certainly I think we're going to be dealing, with some icy spots even into Monday morning. And I think also a good possibility on Tuesday morning as well. And we'll continue to see that chance for snow falling at least through this evening. And then as we look at future radar, you can see that it is going to be wrapping up as we get to right around midnight. And with those snow showers wrapping up and moving out, that's when that really cold air spills in behind that system. So we have to talk about the extreme cold warning here in just a bit. But we've been talking about how some areas could see several inches. Here's a look at what some areas could see. This is the updated totals estimated by our First Alert weather team. And, you can see that the higher amounts will be the farther northeast. So that's where the bulk of the snow, the heavier the snow, I think will fall with this particular system. However, as we work our way southward down towards the I-20 corridor, we could see as much as 4 to 7 inches of the snowfall by the time it's all said and done, and lesser amounts as we work our way southward. Some areas may end up with just a couple of inches of snow, but still, that's something nice for South Carolina, something rare. But again, we could see, in heavier snow bands that set up some higher isolated amounts within these range totals. So don't get too hung up on the higher end of these ranges. So that is accounting for some of those higher amounts that could set up in some of the heavier snow bands. Now, again, obviously, I think the main impact with this system will be hazardous travel expected through the day. And I know you've heard it a million times, but if you don't need to be anywhere, just stay off those roadways. I think especially as we continue through your Saturday, we're just starting to see the snow falling now, but I think we'll be dealing with accumulating snowfall, right around lunchtime and through the rest of your Saturdays. So those road conditions will be deteriorating through the day. Now, we also have some very cold temperatures to talk about coming in behind that system. Even though the snow stops falling, late tonight into early tomorrow morning, we're not done with this system. In fact, some, very cold air moves in. We've got temperatures that will be, actual air temperatures that will drop down into the teens, but those winds will still be around, and that is going to produce wind chills down to around 0 degrees, if not a little below 0. So again, it is going to be just very cold. This is why the National Weather Service has issued that extreme cold warning, because they want you to be aware of, the dangers, with this cold, because any exposed skin for any amount of time, especially if your kids are out playing in the snow, hands get wet, that makes it more dangerous for the skin to become even colder. You don't want to risk frostbite, and so again, wind chills will be possibly below 0 at times. So definitely can bank on single-digit wind chills for late tonight into tomorrow morning, but it could feel as low as 0, if not a little below 0. Now, some of the things that you can do to prepare for the extreme cold, you can, of course, layers underneath the winter coat. Also a hat that kind of keeps the heat from escaping your body, so it kind of keeps you warm. Also gloves or mittens. You just want to limit any exposed skin that you possibly can in these cold conditions. Hey, Chris Terrell. Oh, it says snowing now in Northeast Columbia. Oh, that's a nice treat for you, because you've got more headed your way. Yeah, and the good thing with this snow is it's a nice powdery snow. It's not a wet snow. We don't have to worry about accumulating power lines or tree branches, so we're not so concerned with this event with power outages, although we can't always completely rule it out. Some isolated power outages may be possible, but that's not our main concern, because this snow is expected to be kind of a dry, fluffy snow, a powdery snow. So again, something nice to see. It may make it a little bit harder to for the kids to make the snowball, but I think maybe they'll get some fun sledding in by this time, or not this time, tomorrow morning. It'll be before sunrise, but tomorrow morning after sunrise, of course, and during the afternoon, maybe they'll get some fun sledding in, because it's not so bad. And also, with this dry, powdery snow, if you have to clear your driveway or anything like that, it'll make shoveling a lot easier than if it was that wet, compacted snow. So, some good news there. Oh, snow is starting in Chapin, so it's good news there. Whitney Sheriff sharing that with us. Thank you, Whitney. So, yeah, we're seeing the snow starting to overspread more of the area, and it's going to be with us, throughout much of this Saturday, if not all of this Saturday, once it gets started in your area. It may fluctuate in intensity, but the chance is going to be there once it arrives. It's going to be there through this Saturday up until around midnight, I think. So something that a lot of folks will enjoy, provided that they don't have to be anywhere. Hopefully you can stay home. So again, snow likely today. We'll have temperatures holding steady. In fact, for the afternoon, they'll be generally in the 20s. So they'll actually be a little colder this afternoon than what we can really see out there right now. So I think in the 20s, around 30 degrees for many of us. And we've got those gusty winds in the forecast as well. So again, we're talking about blowing snow that can reduce visibilities as well. So, a lot happening with this system that we don't normally see here in South Carolina. Now, we will see those snow showers continuing for tonight. Like I said, they should wrap up as we get closer to midnight for much of the Midlands before moving out just after midnight, I think, moving out of the eastern Midlands. So will it be difficult building a snowman? It's not going to be perfect snow for building a snowman, but I think everyone should still give it a shot. We would love to see pictures of it too. So send it to us here at the station. We can share those. Always provide your city and where you're building your snowman, and also give us your name so we can get that on the air for you. And the good thing, it may be a little more. It may not be perfect snow for making a snowman, but at least we'll see enough snow in I think in many areas, at least it won't be a dirty snow. Sometimes when you don't get a lot of snow, it's kind of dirty and it has grass in it, and but I would say definitely give it a shot. It may not be the perfect consistency type snow, but I think definitely give it a shot. Crystal Sheely Evans and says it's snowing in Newberry. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we saw our own Derek Rush. In his live shot, we were seeing the flakes flying, and it was just really nice to see earlier this morning. It looked like it had let up just a little bit, but it looks like it's starting to pick back up in your area as well. Definitely, I think Newberry. Last year had parts of Newberry. I think they saw less than an inch of snowfall last January. So this will definitely, make up for that, I think, if you're a snow lover in Newberry today. So again, our temperature is dropping back down into the teens, and again, we have to keep in mind the winds for tomorrow morning. So those teens, it's cold enough as it is, but when you factor in those winds, like I said, it's likely going to feel like single digits, if not around zero, if not a little bit below zero at times, because those winds, they may still be gusting anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour. You factor that in, with temperatures, actual air temperatures in the teens, and that's just going to be brutally cold. It's going to be the kind of cold, just feels like it just cuts right through you. Now, in terms of tomorrow afternoon, so the freezing threshold is 32 degrees, and we should be, just slightly above that for tomorrow. We'll have the sunshine. I think snow in direct sunlight that will help to melt some of it as well. I don't think it's going to melt all of it. We're just not going to be high enough above freezing for very long to do that. Some areas that don't see a lot, it may. But Sunday night into Monday morning, we're back down into the teens. So it's still another just brutally cold start to the day. But anything that does melt. And again, we'll have some winds, and this is going to be a powdery snow, and it could blow some flakes back out into the roadways, and that would melt and then refreeze by Monday morning. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But I think Monday morning we'll have to be concerned with that potential for some ice on roads, sidewalks, parking lots. Can't forget that either. And then Monday we do climb into the mid 40s, so that will help out a lot. And also we'll have sunshine, so that will help out a lot. But then anything that melts by Tuesday morning, we're back down to below freezing, so we're likely going to be dealing with some ice on roads and possibly untreated sidewalks and things of that nature again for Tuesday morning. So just some things to bear in mind with this system. Oh, also I want to mention there's the QR code on your screen. Just go ahead and aim your camera at that, and that way you can download our First Alert Weather app, and you get the very latest updates. We're going to be updating all throughout the day on because we'll show you the radar. Also, there's a live radar on the app, so that's definitely something really nice to have, and you can look at other areas all across the country if you want. So again, just download that First Alert Weather app, and remember to check in with us here. We are going to be bringing updates all throughout the day, all throughout the event, even into tomorrow. Oh, Debbie Davidson, thanks for the update recommendations. Thank you, Debbie. Stay safe and stay warm, Debbie, and everyone. Stay safe and stay warm, and hopefully it'll be something, hopefully you don't have to go anywhere today, and you can, layer up, have those mittens, gloves, hats, scarves, just cover any exposed skin tomorrow as you're out and about and enjoying the snow for tomorrow. So again, the thing tomorrow to be concerned about is just the very cold conditions. You don't want to risk getting frostbite or even hypothermia. Well, stay with us. Here's a look at our website as well. You can always go to our website, wistv.com. That gives you the latest news, of course, weather, and also sports. And also, don't forget, if you take any pictures, to send it to us here at the station. We'd love to get those on the air for you.